You got that? Okay. The scientists and the researchers have always found that these 5 factors have to be in place for you to have optimal health. In fact, be healthy throughout your whole life. Not just you, but your family is the one you care about, okay? So, we're going to talk about nutrition today, okay? Huge to have organic fruits and vegetables and whole grains. And we're going to talk about that after this talk. Exercise. 30 minutes a day minimum. At least, I mean, don't be ridiculous. You don't have to go 7 days a week, but try to get at least 5 in 30 minutes a day. And most people will say, oh, I can do that. But some people say, well, with what I have on my plate with the 5 kids, 3 kids, whatever it is to you, how do I carve that time into my day? Well, break it down if you have to, but get it in. So what you can do is break down in 10-minute increments. Walk around the building for 10 minutes. There's 1 rep or 1 set. Do it 3 times, you have 30 minutes in, right? If it's really bad, you can do it 6 times, 5 minutes, and get it in. But you can get it in, and people don't think how easy that is. It really is, okay? So, sleep. How many of us get enough sleep? Silicon Valley, the average is 6 hours and 45 minutes. So 7 hours. Not a lot, especially if you're a kid and they're averaging everybody, right? But we need more than that. To run appropriately, our body needs at least 8.5. And that's not realistic all the time for most people here, is it? Okay. Positive mental attitude. Huge. How many of you know people that they're in a room, you just, oh my gosh, you gravitate toward them, right? They're like a magnet. Hopefully I'm one of those types, and I hear that a lot. But how about the people that kind of, they come in and you feel this repelling, and they can, you know, the whole room kind of crowds away. You don't want to have that, and maybe it's because they had a stressful day and they're a great person, but we need to let that off because it really affects you, but it affects the others around you. Okay? Sound nervous system at the bottom there, number 5. Most important out of all 5. The scientists and researchers have always shown that your nervous system has to be functioning at its best level for you individually, for you to take advantage of any of the other 4. Okay? For instance, if your brain can't communicate properly to your stomach and you're eating a great diet, how do you think you're going to get the best benefit from that diet? Your digestive system can't function normally, so you can't break down the food normally. Does that make sense? Okay. So we'll go back to that in a few. Let's go ahead and close the packet now. I've been in practice 11 years, and I'm located near Los Angeles Community Hospital. Does everybody know where that hospital is? Okay. What is stress? Remember, it's an individual element. To each person, the element of stress is just what you perceive it to be. So a real or interpreted threat to the physiological or psychological integrity of an individual with the results in physiological or behavioral responses. How we respond to it. So how you think most, so what you think of most during the day, do you know that you become those things? So if you're thinking negatively, negative things seem to be attracted to you. Okay, so that's something to know. Stress is the cause of 80 to 85% of all human illness and disease. In America, it's the number one problem here in America. But stress comes in 3 components. There's physical stress, there's chemical stress, right? And there is emotional stress. Those 3. So when we look at that, when we think of how we live our lives here in the United States, what do most people want to do when they're not feeling well? Lay down and rest. What if they're in pain? What do? Take medications, drugs, right? The reason why I bring this up now is because of this percentage here. Do you know 85 to 87% of all prescription drugs worldwide are prescribed in the United States alone? So our society is all about, hey, kill what I feel and let's keep going because I've got to get to work, I've got to get my bills paid and make the mortgage, this and that. We forget about our health, right? So we're trying to gain enough wealth to support ourselves for the first half of our life, I like to say, and then we spend all of our wealth in the end of our life, the latter part of our life, to regain our health. You got to have a balance, you see? Okay, next. Stress is self-generated. It is what we perceive in our minds and bodies. And that's that mind-body connection, right? Because chemical imbalances, we'll see in a minute, really cause some habits of the body when you're under stress for long periods of time. Categories of stress. External, physical environment. Remember we talked about that? That could be environmental toxins, pesticides, those type of things. And traffic jams aren't real good for us Not me, I'm not real good in pumper. Social interactions or personal and or professional relationships. Organization, we talked about that a little bit, right? It is better to be organized. But if you're the type like me where your desk, you know where everything is, but it's piled up stuff, that is organized for you. So, don't beat yourself up over that. Life events, a loss of a loved one or a job or maybe a test you didn't do so well on, right? Internal would be life choices you make, physical, empowering choices, like the physicality of getting 30 minutes of exercise every day or drinking enough water. These are choices that you have. And if you don't choose wisely, maybe you get into a habitual thing with drugs or alcohol that can really be detrimental to you. Self-doubt. This is a huge one. Okay, the stressors that you have by negative self-talk. And a lot of people, I talk to a lot of kids too, because they always think, especially here, that you got to get the gold medal every day. You got to get 100% on everything you do. How about what happened to, let's do the best we can. If you fall a little short than perfect, that's okay, that's good. It's not the, what is the saying that I usually say, and it's escaping me, is that it's not the destination. It's the journey that counts. We're going somewhere and you have your goals, but it's the journey that counts. We all have speed bumps in our life, and we need them sometimes because we grow from that. We grow from things that are hard, okay? But they should be speed bumps, and we should know how to glide through them, not these big chasms up and down, okay? Stress management techniques. How do we do that? How do we make it smooth when we get under stress? Change your lifestyle if you need to. Meaning, get some rest and relaxation. Maybe some people like to be in a yoga position and just blow out in deep breathing exercises, right? Or Tai Chi. Or maybe it's the 30 minutes of exercise every day, okay? Change your thinking. The self-talk has to be positive talk. Granted, you can't, well, I don't like the word can't either. It's hard to do it 100% all the time. Just do your best. Just like eating a great diet doesn't mean you can't have fun every once in a while, everything in moderacy, and eat a Twinkie maybe. I choose not to, but if it wasn't every day, it's not going to kill you, okay? But try to think positively as much as you can. Change your behavior. That will happen if you put these in place. So it says, yet it's important to remember that those, or these things, are only a break-even concept. That means if you do these things appropriately, most of the time, your stress levels will even out. But now you're balanced. Doesn't mean you're getting ahead of the game. How do you get ahead of the game? And it's right here. Truly beating stress means continued happiness and enhanced well-being. That means you just keep doing that, getting better at it, learning from your mistakes, and growing with it. So it's a lifelong process. What happens when we are stressed? The good, the bad, the ugly, all that good stuff. A burst of energy, first of all, because it's called the fight or flight response. How many people have heard of the fight or flight response? And if we're under that fight or flight response for 12 hours during a day, that means you're under a lot of stress all the time. Your body's not built to do that. It was built to use that mechanism, let's say 400 years ago, we're running away from a bear. We need to get away from this bear, right? And hopefully you make it. And all the cortisol levels and all the chemical changes that have to happen for you to do that, your acuity of your vision improves, your body locks down all your energy stores so you can use it for that getaway, right? And so say you get away, and then you can just relax and maybe eat something healthy, and go, whew, that was close, but now you're blowing off everything.